All right, there we go. Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you are checking us out. Welcome to another awesome episode of Eight Queens Roundtable Show. I am your host, Jacqueline Kabay Harrison, and I am super excited tonight. I know you're probably like, wait a minute. I thought you typically come on Sundays at 3. Yes, that is usually the case, but I have been adding a lot more shows. Sometimes you may see me on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or either a first or a third Sunday of the month. So I'm super excited. And tonight, what we're going to be, or have, as you see, I have a few guests, which are going to introduce themselves in a minute. But tonight we are specifically here. These are the awesome speakers of the Sister Leaders Conference. And the host of that conference is Dr. Karen Hills Pruden. Okay, and that's coming up, what is it, October the 28th and 29th? Is that right?
Yes.
28th and 29th?
Yes.
Yes.
So definitely make sure that you register. I believe I have the link in the description. So you can go ahead, check it out, check these ladies out and the other awesome speakers, as well as the hosts, and basically register, right? So
Yeah.
go ahead and make sure that you do that. So again, this is the Eight Queens Roundtable Show and Podcast, and I'm Jacqueline Kabay Harrison. I am also the visionary author for Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within, which was actually just launched last month, September the 26th, which is my birthday month. So that was like so awesome. I actually didn't plan it like that, but that's the way it worked out. So that was even better. So if you have not gotten that book, go to either Amazon or either Barnes and Noble and grab your copy. Born to Lead, Awakening the Leader Within.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think the title says it all. Also, I have the Eight Queens Roundtable Quarterly Symposium, or I'll take that back, the Eight Queens Roundtable Leadership Symposium. I recently changed the name. The next one is going to be in January. So if you're not following me, make sure that you're following me at Realizing Your Potential. The number is 123, because I will be putting out the advertisement soon, a speaker's call. Okay, so make sure you look out for that. And be a part of the next one that's coming up in January, a brand new year, 2023. Let's start the year off right. And last but definitely not least, I am the executive producer of the Eight Queens Roundtable channel on the one and only Women Win Network. So if you are interested in being the show host or you want to be a guest on the show, reach out to me. Email me, look me up on Facebook, go to my website, realizingyourpotential123.com, and let's have that conversation. Now, let's get started. If you don't have a pen and paper, grab it, okay? Because tonight we're going to be talking about overcoming perfectionism. So let my guests introduce themselves. Coach Kim, Dr. Linda, and Suzanne. Go ahead and introduce yourself to everyone, please. Oh, maybe Coach Kim is sticking a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, Kim, when you join us, when she pops back in, we'll let her introduce herself. But go ahead, Dr. Linda, introduce yourself and let us know a little bit about you.
My name is Coach Kimberly.
It seems to be a delay.
Yeah, okay. She's sticking a little bit. I'm gonna send a little chat to her. But you
Okay.
can go ahead.
Sure. Good evening, and thank you so much for having me. My name is Dr. Linda Jordon. I am a business consultant, business coach, trainer, speaker, and author. I'm based in North Carolina, and I enjoy helping other people live their best life.
Go ahead. It's my turn.
Yes. Oh, that was quick.
Yeah, it was.
I didn't want to go too long, so I figured I'll get it all out later.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Hi, everyone. My name is Suzanne Peters. I am a motivational speaker, best-selling author, and founder of Woman to Woman International Network. I just love inspiring women. I love speaking life into women. And my passion, my business is all about helping women use their story, their message to build their own speaking and coaching business. So I'm happy to be here.
Okay, all right. Now, you know what? I know we kind of got a little, the order shifted a little bit there on me. But Dr. Linda, where are you based out of? If you said it, I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
hear.
sure, no worries. North Carolina.
North, okay, so both of you are North Carolina. And Suzanne, I do hear a little bit of an accent. You don't mind me asking, where are you from?
Trinidad.
Oh, the land of soca. Okay. Are you in Trinidad now?
No,
Okay, where are you at now?
right now I'm in Atlanta.
Oh,
Okay, the
Atlanta.
ATL. Okay, all right.
Nice. You're not too far from me.
No.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm in Michigan,
Yeah,
so I'm
you're a little ways.
little ways
Yeah.
away.
Yeah,
But
you are.
so, Miss Coach Kim, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Ooh, I don't know what's going on here. Can y'all hear me?
Look, we can hear you.
Yes.
Miss
You
Coach
weren't quite moving, but
Kimberly
we can hear you. Oh,
Okay, she froze again.
yeah.
Huh?
You know,
I'm not
sometimes the internet does that.
moving.
Yeah, but now you're
No?
going
Okay, I'll
in
be
and
right
out.
back. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be right back.
It happens.
You
Yeah,
can come
it
back. Want me to cut the camera off?
You know what? Let's try it like that for a minute and see.
Camera off. How was that? My name is Coach Kimberly T. Mitchell. I am in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am an author, a speaker, a TEDx coach, and I want to say all that stuff now and how I started can't compare to all the juicy stuff that happened in the middle that made me who I am now, that inspire other women to stand up in position to take lead and own their testimony, own their story, stop telling their stories from a place of pain, but a place of power, and with more confidence. I'm a storytelling strategist where I like to send you on a visual journey of a story from beginning to the end, all the twists and turns, yummy speaker, or the powerful and juicy.
Okay, so we heard it kind of started off good, then you got to going in and out towards the end. But I think it was a little bit better without the camera. I hate to see your beautiful face, but it was a little bit better with the video off. So we'll see how it goes. So tonight's topic is overcoming perfectionism. So and you know what, when you guys, I definitely want you guys, well, let's start like this. Let's let the audience know why this is an important topic for us, or why you felt moved to join this panel. So I guess I'll start. So for me, I was raised in a way, like I came up in a very critical home, meaning everything was scrutinized. You know, if I brought home an A, it could have, it would be, oh, well, it could have been an A plus. Or if I brought home, a B plus, oh, well, that should have been an A, or that should have been an A minus. So for me, that's the way I was raised, that I more than the best was always expected for me, and if I made any sort of an error, it was somehow taken away from me as a person. So coming up like that, as I, began to get older, middle school, high school, everything had to be perfect. I remember like in high school, not high school, I'm sorry, college, like doing papers, and just, it was almost like an obsession, like everything had to be just so before I could turn anything in. Like when I would take tests, it would take me so long because I would go back over it and just go back over it, just making sure that everything was just so, so for me, I call myself, and I can't take the credit on this. it's another entrepreneur in the online space that called herself an recovering perfectionist. And when I heard her say that, I was like, wow. I said, you know what? That's me. You know how they have those AA meetings? They're like, hi, my name is Jackie, and I'm a recovering perfectionist, literally. Because doing this type of work, operating as a business owner, it's like I would rack my brain, right? Trying to make everything perfect or trying to perfect a course or a mastermind or a graphic before I put anything out, and it's like like you can't operate like that. All you can do is do the best that you can do, right? And know that you're gonna make mistakes and that you're gonna, do things differently. And the lesson there is to go through it and learn from it so you don't make the same, you do things a little bit differently next time around. So that's why this topic in itself is very, very important to me, and why I really wanted to talk about it, because I don't think I'm alone. And I know there's some people out there that probably think they're alone, and after they hear panels like this, they'll recognize that they're not alone.
Yes.
So that's my little tidbit for right now. So I'm gonna hand the mic over to Suzanne.
Well, I can totally relate because growing up, I was the eldest of 4 girls. And being the eldest, when I tell you, it's so much pressure because literally every single thing you do, well, for me, I had to think about my 3 younger sisters. Everything I do. And like you said, um, Jacqueline, can I call you Jacqueline?
Yes.
Like you said, your grades were scrutinized. If you got an A, it could have been an A plus, and God forbid I would get a B. Oh my God. You would swear it was the end of the world. And to me, Caribbean parents are like, way intense compared to some of the parents I have met here in the US. It's like, no, that is not good enough. So you kind of grow up wanting, always trying to do better, do better, do better. And like you, Jacqueline, when I heard you talk about trying to perfect a cause or a mastermind, come on, Dr. Linda, you know about that too.
Oh, yes, I do.
And you would put it off and put it off and no, it's not good enough. So being a perfectionist is just the ultimate way of holding yourself back. Let me just put it like that.
Amen to that.
Mhm.
Well, I'll just say we almost have been all in the same household pretty much. But for me, rather being a recovering perfectionist, I am a recovering middle child. So yes, our household was somewhat similar. I am smack dab in the middle of 8 children. There's 4 girls and 4 boys, and my parents were very the same. Around they wanted perfectionism, making sure you had an A. A was good, but you could get an A plus.
Right.
I'm also from a family of we were in church and always singing and things of that nature. But for me, being in the middle, I wasn't the oldest, I wasn't the youngest, so I didn't get that attention. So for me, I wanted everything to be perfect so I could get attention, and I carried that with me all through my entire adult life, through college, until my daughter was born, and she's 28 years old. And now, when she was born, perfectionism got out of the window because you just can't. It just can't happen. So that's why I love the recovering perfectionist. But for me, I think I'm a recovering middle child. But I have to catch myself sometimes about being a perfectionist.
Mhm. I'm gonna let Coach Kim go, but remind me to tell you all about me doing graphics.
Okay.
Okay, just remind me. Go ahead, Coach Kim. So the question was, why did you want to speak on this topic? Why is this topic important to you?
Oh, the whole imposter syndrome thing, from all 5 levels, because I believe that I experienced all of them at one point or another. Also, like especially one job that just came in on the end part of perfectionism. I too was born up in a household at 98. Why you couldn't get a 90? Why couldn't you get 100? At 85, why couldn't you get a 90?
Yeah.
At 95, why couldn't you get? So it's like you striving to be better than. There's nothing wrong with striving to be better than what you are now, but we tend to think of it as, oh, I gotta get this perfect. I get 100 every time. I gotta get 100 every time. I gotta get 100 every time. And when we don't get 100, we kind of just fall by the wayside. We give up on our journey or our goals and our talents and what we've been called to do. And I mean, it just interests me to the point where now people, my other public speaker friends said that, you got to show yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself. Mm-hmm. So that's one key effort. I was like, oh, that's good. I have to put that down on how to overcome perfectionism. But I'm actually working that out on me and see if that actually works. But I love it too, because I believe that we do, and that's what holds us back, because we start dealing with perfectionism as one of the types of imposter syndrome, and we just don't move forward, especially as we Black women, we do come down hard on ourselves a lot. We have to be perfect in every area of our life, and we don't have to, as long as we get started. And as we get started, we grow into what we're working towards. We grow into it. That means we're going to get more wisdom and more knowledge along the way. So we can't be perfect. Just our perfect is what we already have in our hand to get moving.
That's right. I so agree. I wanted to share the story about me and graphics. Now, let me just say, I don't do graphics anymore. Okay, I can't. But it's me with the, okay, everything has to be, just right. It has to be the right color. It has to be positioned just so. And I was just like, you know what? I'm surprised I haven't had hair left on my head. That's why I don't do graphics no more. I'm like, I can't do graphics. But it's like, for me, I hear so many women, and I'm just focusing on women, and I say that because, well, obviously it's the sister leaders conference, and my actual target audience is women. So, I focus on women. So I've interviewed so many different women, and they tell that same story about not moving on something because they're waiting to perfect it. Like, let's just say, like, going live. Perfect example.
Oh, yes.
You know how Facebook will show you like things from a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And I look at some of those videos, and I was going live, and it was dark. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have the right lighting. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to work the platform, just all sorts of things. But I'm saying all that to say, let's just say if you want to start your own show, and you're like, okay, well, I can't start it yet because I got to get the right lighting. I have to get the perfect platform. I have to, I don't know, get the right microphone, whatever it is, Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't try to do the best that you can, right? But the thing of it is, it's never going to be a quote unquote perfect product or a perfect time,
right?
So I literally, and this was so hard for me, I literally had to get into the mindset of doing the best that I could, like doing, as much research as I can, to put the best product out there, whether it be a show or, my symposium, whatever I'm doing, the best that I can, and be okay with that. Yeah. And just know that, okay, then make a mental note. Okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna do that differently next time. Or you know what, I'm not going to use StreamYard anymore. I'm going to use Zoom next time. Right. And I had to start looking at it like an experiment. It's an experiment because it's an experiment. Yeah. So that's what I tell myself.
Well, I have learned that over time that done is better than perfect.
Yes.
Because the more we wait, the more we fine tune. Because when I started first doing Facebook Lives, oh my gosh, it was like 20 takes. And I'm like, oh, redo. And I finally said, if I keep doing that, I'll never get it done. I just press play and go for it. I'm like, people let me know if they don't like it. And if they don't, that's not my client.
Yeah.
So done is better than perfect.
So I think aiming for perfection is one of the best ways to procrastinate.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
You have a logical reason to wait, to try again. No, let's redo. That is the ultimate way to procrastinate. And listening to you ladies, I feel so good because I know I'm not alone.
that's right.
Yes, absolutely.
Procrastination.
Yeah.
It is.
We all in it together.
Yep, exactly.
But we're here to help each other out and help each other stay accountable. If I help my sisters be accountable, I have to be accountable. So like you can't just make sure that you're checking in somebody else and you're not doing anything. You have to be doing too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's real. It's real.
It's real.
It
Yeah.
is.
And I like how you brought up the correlation with the being procrastinating. Because when we procrastinate, sometimes it's because of fear. Well, you know what? It's still with the perfectionism, right? It's the fear, or at least for me, I'll speak for myself. It was the fear of being judged, the fear of, I'm going to put this out. What are people going to say? People, like a big one in my mind. And I'm now, as I'm talking about it, a lot of it overlaps, right? The perfectionism, procrastination, imposter syndrome. I know a big one for me was, I'm going to put this product out, and what are people going to think? Are they going to say, like, because at the time when I first started, I didn't have a lot of online business associates.
Right.
It was mainly family, family and friends.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, what are they going to think? Like, and I figured they might think, like, well, who is she? Who does she think she is? Talking about she's a life coach. Who's gonna, you know what I mean? So that kept playing in the back of my head. That people are gonna be critiquing me.
Yes.
And making a judgment on me. So for me, I guess all of those kind of intertwined and kind of went on inside of my head as I was, making a product or, deciding on whatever I was going to put out next.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because it's also, I think that sometimes we have to remind ourselves, who are we questioning? We said, who do you think I am for doing this? It's almost like questioning God, because God gave you the call and God gave you the passion to reach out to your sister. I'm not saying that I don't do it. Like, listen, I'm quick to say, God, me, why? Or like there's other people's stories in the Bible, like Gideon, or who. How many times he questioned God and before he actually did? God, if it's you, that was me. God, if it's you, God, if you did this, God, if you would do this, I would do that. Like trying to negotiate with him. But then when he does do it, you're like, okay, wait. Okay, but God, one more time. If you do this, then I would do this. But we look for validation. We constantly question him. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He created us. But at the same time, we're turning our back away from him. And we're looking towards other people who are not probably walking in their own passion and their purpose, who are not walking in their calling. And we're allowing them to tell us that we should not be doing what we set out to do, because they're not doing it. And we have to be mindful of that, because they don't want us to do it. Not intentionally, maybe not, but they don't want us to do it because they're not doing it, because they have their fear. They want to put their fear off us, so that way that we don't move forward. But I do know that we question God, but we look for validation in other people when he's already validated us and called us to it.
That's right, the validation.
Very true.
Yeah, I think validation had a big part to play with it for me also, because for me, aiming for perfectionism had a lot to do with coming from the Caribbean, coming from a Caribbean household. I knew absolutely no one At the time when I decided what I wanted to do for a living, I knew no one personally in this industry. And for me, I felt like I had to step up to the plate. I had to prove that even though I came from a different background, a different country altogether, that I was good enough. So that just kept me pushing and trying and trying. And no, I have to be better. I have to do better. I have to put myself out there. So in a way, it worked out to be a good and a bad, because there was still the procrastination, the fear, and everything else that went along with it. But there was also the part where I was just striving to be good enough, or to feel like I was good enough and make other people also think that I'm good enough.
Yes, exactly.
Whole mess.
Yeah.
Oh, mess. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Beautiful mess.
exactly. Well, I can say 7 years ago, and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but I am 7 years cancer free. And as I tell people, when I was diagnosed, I was blessed with breast cancer, because I truly believe at that point, then I could see that he was trying to tell me something. I need to make a change in my life, because I was working in corporate America and high blood pressure, high cholesterol. I was overweight. I was not taking care of myself. I was in this box of perfectionism, trying to get everything right in corporate America. But the moment that I got that diagnosis, 30 days later, I walked away from corporate. And I
Wow.
haven't looked a day back since. And I haven't questioned myself about perfectionism, because I know what my purpose is. I don't say, like, some days may not be as great as others, but I know what my purpose is now. And I don't question or wait for that validation. I just go and do it, because, tomorrow's not promised.
Yeah.
And if
That's
we keep
right.
making excuses for not doing something, we'll be sitting on the sidelines.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When you said that you're blessed with that also reminds me, like, I never thought about that. Like, okay, you're blessed to have alopecia because you get to reach out to other people, or you get to go along the journey and help other people out with alopecia. Alopecia is not, it's a medical term. It's not necessarily a death sentence. However, people with alopecia do experience low self-esteem. They do experience depression. There's young children who have been bullied to death because they end up killing themselves.
Mhm.
So for me, just to have alopecia, just say, oh, I have alopecia, just walk around with no wig on or anything like that, not doing anybody a service, just use my voice to speak in, like, say, schools or a different organization, just to discuss alopecia and the effects of it. And I commend you, sis. Like, I'm glad that you are overcoming and that you're standing strong and using your words, your talents, and your calling to call other women into leadership, and not to let a diagnosis hold them back.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank the both of you for sharing. I'm actually a breast cancer survivor myself. And it really between that and COVID have
Yeah.
really changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Yes.
A lot of things.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was thinking as well was I had a big issue around if I put out something imperfect, then people were going to dismiss it. Like for example, a young lady that may, and it sounds, well, I don't know, I was gonna say for me it sounds ludicrous, but there's probably some people out there that would disagree with me. But at the time I would think, what if I use the wrong word? Like for example, let's say you're putting out a post, and maybe I use TO instead of TOO,
Uh-huh.
right? And that maybe my ideal client would see it and they'd be like, okay, I really like Jackie. I think I want to, purchase. I think I want to work with her, but she didn't use the correct version of the word too. Okay, so you know what? I don't want to work with her anymore. Like I'm telling you, I'm just keeping it real.
Yeah.
That is the kind of things that were going on in the back of my head. So finally, I had to say to myself, you know what? I'm human. If and I'm gonna make a mistake. You're human. You're human. right? And if someone doesn't want to work with me because I on a flyer I use, I mean in a post, I forget left off the O, then okay, then I'm okay with that. You know what? I'm okay with that. If if you're the grammar police, then I'm good. You know what I mean?
And that's all they're there for. That means that they wasn't your people.
We're all perfectly imperfect.
Exactly. And one of the biggest lessons I learned in this industry is it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to mess up. And most importantly, it's okay for people to know that you are not perfect, because then they feel more comfortable, like, oh my God, okay, she's real. I can deal with her. So it's just your way of being authentic.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
To me, that was such a blessing to realize that. It was so good, because then I get to just be all out there with all us and have people know that, okay, this is me, this is what I've been through, but this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm at now. And because of just being authentic, in spite of how messy it may look at times, because we don't ever get it perfect, that just attracts all the right people.
Yeah. And I can honestly say I have probably kicked myself several times because I've done that. I didn't want to put it out because it wasn't perfect. And the next day, someone else will make a post somewhat similar. I'm like, crap, that should have been me. But I was so busy processing and overthinking and questioning, is this the right thing, the right colors and all of that? And someone says the exact same thing. And I'm thinking, it's a missed opportunity.
That's right.
Took me a long time.
You can still do it.
Yes, that's true.
That's true. Yeah, because no one is gonna deliver like you, Dr. Linda.
Yeah, exactly. But we question ourselves so much because we want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And you see other things that are not so perfect. And those are individuals who may potentially be getting more clients or getting more followers because they're not worrying about their hair, their makeup, what they're wearing, or what's in the background. They're just, it's like Suzanne said, they're just being so authentic and real, and they're doing it in the moment. And that's really what makes the difference.
And
I have a podcast, and my podcast, I don't know why, because maybe because people not looking at me, but when I do a video, I feel like I'm scripted or rehearsed. That's what my daughter says. My daughter always tells me, "Mom, why are you reading? Why are you talking like you're reading something?" But when I'm on my podcast, because it's me, I'm intimate, and I'm vulnerably just speaking, I realize that I get more action in my podcasting than I do in my videos, only because it's my heart. It's more coming out because you don't see me. But I'm working on that. I'm working on that.
I'm a work in progress, and the thing of it is, you're aware of it and you're working on it.
Absolutely.
But so I want to end on the note, because this so we got a little time. I definitely want you ladies to share how you were able to address it, because it's obvious that we've all at one time or another had issues or concerns around perfectionism, procrastination, and so forth. But I want you to let the ladies know, or our audience know, give them a tip or a tool that you used in order to address it. And then I want you all to talk a little bit, and I know you're not gonna get into obviously the meat of what you're going to discuss during the conference, but at least let the audience know what you're going to discuss, so they can be looking forward to checking you out when you get on stage. So I guess Suzanne, Dr. Linda, and then Coach Kim.
Okay. Well, for me, I was able to put it all together mainly from journaling. I literally started journaling day and night, all the time, because I needed to find a way to just gather my thoughts and, just get things together for me in a way that I can not only be the best person, I can be the best coach, the best speaker, but also put myself out there the way I wanted to. So for a while, it started with me just looking at other people on social media, knowing that they were doing what I wanted to do. And because I didn't feel good enough to be able to step up to the plate and do things the way they were doing it, especially because of my accent. I used to look at my accent as a big, big, big disadvantage. Like,
Oh.
seriously, a big disadvantage because I felt like I needed to fit in. So that was also, like I said, coming from the Caribbean, one of the things that made me feel like it had to be perfect. I had to keep trying and doing it over and over, and ended up procrastinating for a lot of years.
Okay.
So what I'm doing now is something I should have been doing like at least 5 years ago. But the point is, I didn't stay there. I started journaling. I got clarity on what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. And I got to the point where that helped me work on my mind so much that I just literally started to put myself out there, to put my mess out there. And through doing that, that is how I was able to build my own confidence, gain even better clarity, be able to connect with other women out there who I had no idea were just like me. So
Mhm.
because of that, I mean, besides God, because He's in the center of everything I did, but didn't want to
Mhm.
make it about just that.
Yeah.
But besides God, all I did was journaled and worked on myself consistently. I literally became obsessed with personal development, and I was just
Mhm.
into it day and night. And when you start putting yourself out there, you get to a point where you are so comfortable in who you are and what you stand for, that the things that used to affect you and hold you back at one point in time, it just doesn't affect you that way anymore. I mean, it's there. And if you took the time to focus on it, yes, it would build up in you again. But because you have been working on yourself, you are able to get past that point. Now, at this conference, I would be speaking about, yes, my mess, because I love to talk about my mess. But the reason I always do that, and this is not just about me, this is about every one of us out there, our message is in our mess. And because I realized that, I was able to get comfortable speaking about my mess. And now I use it to let other women, my market is mainly women, but let other people out there know, listen, my mess was so big. My failure was so huge, and yet still I am able to live my dream. And if I can do it, so can you. So that is what I would be speaking about in a nutshell without giving out too much.
Okay. Wow. Okay, Suzanne. All right, Miss Peters. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Thank you, Dr. Linda.
All right. So for me, I'll give you the example of how I was able to overcome perfectionism and perfectionism. I did it in work and in life and in business. So being a coach, I had to get a coach because it
Yeah.
was just controlling my life completely, down to the fact that even in my personal life. So the simple thing of doing laundry. Now, my husband would help me fold clothes. And when it gets to the towels, he'd help me fold towels. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to even folding towels. I would refold those things. And then he's sitting there like, I just folded those and you're refolding them. Why did I do that? And so I had that conversation with my coach, and she's like, Linda, what is wrong with you? She's like, you're sending the message that what he's doing is not good enough.
Mhm.
I'm already thinking that, because I'm this perfectionism person, that I was going through all of those fears myself, and that's kind of what I'm going to talk about at the conference, is that fear of failure, the fear that I'm not good enough, or what are people going to think, or I don't know how to do that. And so I was allowing that to even affect my personal life. But my poor husband is sitting there trying to fold towels and I'm refolding them. And he's like, I could be
Oh,
doing something else. So I have overcome that. And if he folds towels now, I don't care how they're folded, as long as they get in the cabinet and they're clean and we can use them, it works. But I had to go through something like that for someone to bring that to my attention around bath towels. And I mean, really, I would go in the closet, and if they were not lined up, color coded, and even, I just take them all out and redo it. So I realized how deep that was bothering me. And then we, as women, oftentimes, it may not be folding towels, but it's something else.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So I'm going to share that at the conference. So more to come.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thank you, Dr. Linda.
My pleasure.
Yeah, that's good. So at the conference, I'll be talking about imposter syndrome. But before I talk about that, let me tell you, I'm not sure if you heard what I said in the because of my internet was acting up. But I experienced perfectionism as far as the other things that in my life now that was my life. I ended up writing a book and putting all the pieces together. And in the book, I have one paragraph that says, I liken my message to the ink that the pen dispenses. When it gets in the hands of the Father, the Creator, He then pens a perfect masterpiece. That means that everything that y'all hear about me now, being a TEDx coach, being a coach, a public speaker on these platforms, and how my life began with the two-parent household, the doggies, the cars in the garage, and the perfect, the perfect beginning. And this, I'm not sure, I guess everybody probably would think it's perfect now, but the stuff in between is what makes it up. And what makes it juicy, what makes you be wondering, wants to ask you how and why. I too like to journal. I too like to write affirmations. And one of those affirmations, some of those affirmations is learning to be kind to yourself and show yourself some grace and love yourself, flaws and all. I love the scripture, Psalm 129, verse 14, I believe. And it is saying that how we are created wonderfully made by God. And we are His creation. And He knew us before we was even born. And all of that that means something. That means something. And when I first took off the wig, I did like a perfect self. I did a selfie actually because I wanted to see what I look like. I did a selfie. I took a camera and I just looked it straight up in the sky and took a picture of myself. It stopped me and tears came out my eyes because then I finally saw who I was without the wig, without the mask, without whatever it was that was holding it back. I saw the shape of my eyes, the structure of the nose, how my nose was shaped, and how my mouth curled up when I smiled and my eyes squint. I loved everything about myself. Okay, yes, I didn't have any hair, but that's okay. He made me like that. He made me like that for a reason. Because I believe that everything, I'm not saying everything happened for me. He made all those bad things happen. But I am saying that the little girl that started out on the porch and did not want to get down and play with anybody because her little dress was going to get dirty. Her socks was going to get dirty. Or her mom's hair out was going to get all frizzy again. I'm saying that little girl probably wouldn't be now helping and inspiring other women to get up and tell their stories so that other women could be empowered as well.
Wow. Powerful, powerful stuff, y'all. This is really powerful. Now, I'm sitting here debating whether I was going to say this or not, because I know sometimes this may kind of, open up a can of worms, but do you tell me if you all kind of feel me with this here? I feel like that we as, women of color, right? I think that we're expected to kind of suck it up, like I remember, like in other words, like you don't have time to be sick. You don't have time to be off. You just kind of got to suck it up, hold your head up and just keep on going, and to me that feeds into that being perfect, and again, it stems off into so many other things, like not wanting to ask for help, like you like, I got this, or, I'm good, sort of thing, and I think it's just, I don't know, because I know I watched it from my mom. I watched it from my grandmother, my aunts, and to me, it that's still kind of stemming from the same, or being cut from the same cloth, as in, you have to be perfect. You have to have everything together, and, you have to keep everything together. you know, and I think we carry those same attitudes up to adulthood,
Yes.
you know. So I mean, in our personal life, in
Mhm.
our professional life, you know. So I just kind of wanted to get some feedback. I mean, what do you ladies think about that?
It's true. But
Yeah.
that's also why it's so important for us to do what we do. Because
Mhm.
Yes.
we got to the point that, listen, even though we were brought up a certain way, my mom was not brought up the same way I was brought up. And even now, the way she thinks is so different to the way I think. We would react completely different to the very same situations because I know better now. It's not to say that she was brought up bad or anything like that. But when you begin to work on yourself, and you
Mhm.
begin to look at things from a different light, you understand, listen, I don't have to be superwoman every day. I don't have to be the perfectionist that everyone thinks I'm supposed to be. Things don't have to be that way. It's okay for me to just be me. It's okay for me to take a break and have some fun and do some of the things that I want to do. But there are a lot of people out there who still don't know that. They think, quote unquote, especially Black woman, I have to be strong and I have to be this and I have to be that. But
Mhm.
that is why people like us are so needed. And we have to make sure we keep sharing other message and encourage other women out there to step up and do the same. It's an ongoing
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I would definitely echo that because having worked in corporate America for 27 and a half years, I felt that pressure all the time.
Mm.
I was the only female of color in leadership. And I had to be perfect
Yeah.
because if I wasn't, then I may not get that next opportunity. So I had to work extra hard to get to where I wanted to be because I didn't want to be left behind or and that's another reason I kept going to school, getting more educated. We get more certifications because we want to make sure that we've got everything in our toolbox so
Yeah.
that we can be the best and be perfect.
Right. Perfect.
And sometimes, as Suzanne said, we don't necessarily need to do that, but we do feel that pressure that we have
Mhm.
to.
Mhm.
Right.
Is that strength actually you ask for help and show that you're a little vulnerable, have a little weakness? I think that's your strength. That's your superpower. That means you can
Mm.
call on your sisters and say, "Hey, I need help in this area. I'm not okay. Okay, what should I do?" That's your superpower. But being able to ask for help. But I do agree that a strong woman, we need to try some kind. We need to come up with something else with because that is hurtful actually to be called a strong woman or a strong Black woman, something like that. We need to come up with another stand because a lot of us are going in rooms and crying and like wanting to end it all because we are reaching that level of perfectionism and
Yeah.
we feel like oh, we let the whole Black community down because we're not.
Yes.
And we should not think about that. Seriously, and then you're right. That's why we need it. We need it to help encourage our sisters into thinking this way. Like just getting started, just getting up in bed is big. So if you tell me that you couldn't get out of bed in a week and you couldn't get your day started, you tell me that you put your left foot down on the bed. I'm going to give you a round of applause because you tried. You tried your best to move forward. Or if you just get out the bed and just walk to the bathroom and just wash your face or something like that. That's big. A lot
Yeah.
of people are being stuck in their beds and don't want to get up because they're depressed because
Yeah.
things are not perfect. They're
Mhm.
not reaching that level of perfection.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep. Well, this has been an excellent discussion, ladies. Thank
It
you all
has.
so much.
I
So
like this.
join, or shall I say, go to, let me see, make sure I get it correct. Okay, so it's sisterleadersconference.com is where you can go learn about all of the awesome speakers or the whole lineup that she has. And it is October the 28th and 29th. So check out the website. Make sure you register. Okay. I mean, this has been great. Thank you all so much. And hopefully this resonates with someone
Mhm.
out there and you actually know that you're not alone and that you can work on it. You can work on it. As I said, you can become a what was the word I used earlier? A recovering perfectionist.
Recovering perfectionist.
Right? So let's do this. With the last couple of minutes, everyone let the audience know where they can find you. I guess Suzanne, and then Linda, and then Coach Kim.
Okay. So again, my name is Suzanne Peters. I'm a motivational speaker, best-selling author, and coach for women. I'm the founder of Woman to Woman International Network. And you can find everything about me and my organization on my website, womantowomannetwork.com, www.womantowomannetwork.com, or you can just go on social media and search at the Woman to Woman Network. A woman, a woman.
I'm gonna look you up because I don't know if we're connected or not, but I'm gonna look you up in a minute. Okay, go ahead, Dr. Linda.
Oh, sure. Yes. So, Dr. Linda Jordon, people can find me. It's pretty simple. It's www.lindajordon.com. I am the founder of, I'm launching a new academy. It's called Illuminating Your Potential Academy. And so I'll be launching that at the conference as well. But that's how people can reach me. They can go to social media or Instagram. I'm at Coach Linda R. Jordan, or you can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm Coach Kimberly T. Mitchell. You can find me on LinkedIn at Kimberly T. Mitchell. Also, my business Instagram is at Kim T Speaks. And my website is www.kimtspeaks.org. My podcast is Kimberly T Inspires. You can find that on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, and iHeartRadio, and probably other forms, I'm not sure. But you can Google that, Kimberly T Inspires. And also, if you want to finding up and healing in the pen, you can on my website at kimtspeaks.org.
Excellent. So make sure you visit sisterleadersconference.com and make sure that you register. It is October the 28th and 29th. So make sure you visit the website. You'll be able to, learn everything, find everything out about this actual conference, and make sure that you register. Listen to these ladies here, their awesome presentations, as well as all of the other awesome speakers and headliners and so forth that Dr. Karen Hills Pruden, I want to make sure I said it right, Karen Hills Pruden, she's the actual conference host. So she has an awesome lineup for you all. So make sure you go to the website and register. Again, I'm Jacqueline Kabah Harrison. I am your host for A Queen's Roundtable show and podcast. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, then you can look me up on Facebook, my business page, which is Realizing Your Potential 123. I have the same handle for Instagram. And I am also on LinkedIn under Jacqueline Kabah Harrison, and on my personal Facebook page, which is Jacqueline Kabah Harrison as well. So thank you so much for joining the show, and make sure that you follow me so you can stay up to date on all of the awesome guests that I will be bringing on in the future. All right. Take care, everyone, and talk to everyone again soon.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.